Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long Blues 1975. YouTubers on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long Blues 1975.
Hey YouTube, Longboys Post 1975, and welcome to a system overview. Could I call this a system? It's more of a it's electronic. Well, you've read the title and you've seen the thumbnail. It's more of a rhythm-based timing twat the crap out of something game. One of my subscribers very kindly sent me something to add to my mini arcade because they've watched my channel for a bit and they've watched a bunch of my videos where I take a look at a whole bunch of mini arcade cabinets, mostly by my arcade, but I do have a few other mini cabinets, not including stuff like the Neo Geo Mini. I don't know if I'd argue that's a true mini cabinet as such, but I do have a bunch of other mini cabinets that are essentially SNES and Mega Drives on a chip that come in a mini cabinet with a 6-button pad. So you know what, it's safe to say I love them, and also I have a massive fondness for the arcades, particularly when I was a lad. So they said you can't have a mini arcade without a mini Whack-A-Mole. Whack-A-Mole was released in Japan in 1976, and excuse my butchering of it, it was called Mogura Taiji. I don't know who made it, why it was made. I don't know if it's the first, well, you could argue the first sort of game like that would be Test Your Strength, wouldn't it, to some degree? I know the thing's not moving before you lamp it with a really big hammer, but you know what I mean, because it's more of a carnival game, isn't it? A game that would be in places where they wouldn't necessarily have actual arcade machines, because this is less specific in the audience that it appeals to. So then it made it to North America the following year. That's based on, you know, what I saw in that Bastion of Truth. Excuse me, Wikipedia, so it must be true. But obviously, I don't know if there are a whole people ripped it off, it became successful. It was always Whack-A-Mole, something like that, and I don't know when it made it to the UK, but I'm assuming it wasn't there or long in after, mainly because of carnivals and things like that. So I have an absolute love of Whack-A-Mole, but I only ever got to play it until adult years. In one specific location we went to, which would be Blue Anchor, but not the arcade we used to go down the road to in Minehead. They never had this at Westward Ho, but in Blue Anchor, obviously I was a lot younger, coming up to 5, 6, 7, and they had one there, and I can't remember if my dad had to help me with it and stuff like that. And it was only in a specific, one arcade had it. None of the arcades in Blue Anchor had it. There were a few along the seafront. But in that one street in Minehead where there are a whole bunch of arcades, none of them had it. But one on the seafront, which I believe was called the Anchor, because they had some more carnival games and a mini Dodgems in there and stuff like this. And outside they had remote control boats, maybe even a mini go-kart section. I talk about some of this in the podcast I did with Mainmeister. It's his podcast called Life Before the NES, and that was the first episode. I'll see if I can put a link to it down below, because maybe watch it as well, because this was the place I played a Whack-A-Mole. I was crap at it, but I mean, obviously it's to improve your rhythm and stuff like that, and test your reflexes, which was a great deal of these things back then, before we got into proper arcades. So yeah, I never saw it until years later when I was an adult and went to places like Western Supermare's Pier, before and after it burnt down, because they have one in there at the moment that I have had a go on, which is Minions based. So anyway, basically, you know what it is. You have a bunch of creatures, in this case moles, that are flat, plush with the surface of the game, and then they come out holes, and they come out in a specific order, and you have to twat them, varying speed levels, and it gets faster and faster and faster and faster, and there being a display on the actual front of the units, I'm talking about arcades here, where it would display your score, and I'm assuming it'd probably be a high score one. And basically, that poor machine must have taken such a massive amount of abuse. So anyway, I was sent this, and it's truly aimed at very young kids, ages 3 years and above. So, you know, teach your kids both the means to destroy animals and competitive violence. Aye, Jesh. Right. So Whack-A-Mole, learning while playing. So it's promoting itself as a learning tool. Vatos is the people who make it. That's a patent, 3 years plus, and you can see there's the machine itself. 2 hammers. So this box is really nice. Score there, and what does it say? It says hit the right mole, bunch of petrified moles with different facial expressions. Coin mode, trial play mode, start, pause button. So you can put coins in. It says coin outlet, so it's got coin outlets on the side we can't see. Soft rubber hammer. Right, and on the side it basically reiterates all that. 2 players pack. Pat with, or you can play it with your hand if you don't want to use the hammers, makes sense. 1 player, I don't know why it said 1 player when it says 2 player. We kind of know that it would be one or the other. Press with fingers again, because it's essentially a rhythm game. Bunch of moles at the bottom. Does this bear a resemblance to a modern current Whack-A-Mole machine? I honestly don't know, because I could have googled it, but I did not. Wow. 2 hammers. I don't know if it's wow because he's pissed off that you lamped him, or wow he's just impressed that you get 2 hammers to destroy him and his brethren. Side again, Whack-A-Mole. Again, is this the official, you know, logo for Whack-A-Mole? Wow, and it just rinses and repeats all the instructions. LED, integral, design, hit the right mole, money, coin outlet, and moles suffering. So, do you know what? That's a really, really, really nice box. I have slit all the sticky tabs because I remembered that this time, because that does get on my nerves. Let's have a look inside the box. It takes 3 AAAs in case you're wondering, so I am prepared. I have a screwdriver in case you do have to undo it. I'm assuming you do if it's ages for 3 years plus, because they don't want kids to choke on a battery. And I had 3 AAAs. I had to pinch 2 of these out of my Xbox Series S controller because I didn't plan in advance. Anyway, it's a very, very sparse box, but then I don't really know what else you would need in it. You get a bag with 1 hammer. There are instructions actually. I won't be reading them because I can't be bothered. And there are tokens. They are plastic. I don't know, they look really metallic. And no, I know, just because they're sprayed, that's not why I thought they were metallic. Here is the unit itself. It's very light. That's good. I can tell you immediately that it comes with sucker cups on the bottom. That's good. I'm not sure why I thought it wouldn't, which is why I did bring up a bunch of these double-sided sticky pads, which is what I use when I play not when I play them on my lap, but when I play my arcades and cabinets and stuff like that, I secure them to the floor with these because you can get them off really easily afterwards. Top tip. Also, if I'm playing a handheld and I'm using my camera to capture it, I will stick the handheld to the floor like that. But no, sucker cups, not sure I wouldn't have that. Kind of makes sense that it does. There is a screw on the back. There is a power unit, and it's got on, and then it's got coin. So I'm assuming one mode is free mode and the other one is coin mode, which you have here. I'm assuming I don't know what that is. There is a coin return there, but it is it's taped. I can see that. So anyway, we have a nice little marquee going on at the top. There we have the Whack-A-Mole name, score there. This is a really, really nice unit. 3 moles there, pissed off. Rinse and repeat around the side. Yeah, I have to say I really do like the way this looks. I'm going to put some batteries in it, but we'll be taking it downstairs and I'll be using my camcorder and tripod to try and capture this. Why downstairs, you say? Because I just realised since it's got sucker cups, I need a hard surface, so I will be sticking it to the wooden floor in the front hall because there's no carpet in the front hall. Right, let's obviously you have another hammer. Just go into that quickly. Nice soft flexible hammers. I'm assuming that so if people want to hit each other, it's still not going to hurt them. I don't know, how strong is your kid? I'm pretty sure with enough effort and commitment to the cause, a 3-year-old could hurt someone with that. Anyway, speaker on the back. I don't know why, because obviously it's got light and it is battery powered. I didn't know why I was expecting there to be no sound effects. Let's get into the battery compartment. Hopefully there's a lot of sound effects and flashing and shit like that then, because hang on, 3 AA's is quite a wedge of power. Let's just do that back up. And let's turn it on. Shall I get a coin out just for the full effect? You don't have to break the bags, it's only sealed with sellotape. I do like that because I'm OCD like that. And also, I like the fact that the coins you get with this aren't like the standard ones you get with a bunch of stuff I've seen like this, where they're really, really, really small. I'm pretty sure you know what small is, so I don't know why I did that with my hand. Let's turn it on, which means we have to turn on to coin operated.
Please put in the coin.
It's got speech. That's pretty impressive.
Please
Look,
put in the coin.
I'm being talked over by a machine. Look how bright the lights are. But then I've just realised something.
Please put in the coin.
But we'll talk about that later, right?
Please choose speed 1, speed 2,
Option, game modes.
speed 4, speed 5, speed 6, speed 7.
I bet it's batshit insane on speed 7. So really nice bright lights.
Please choose
Really clear and concise sound, and it's not a tin bin. Right, I'm just going to press it and let it play out. But
speed 1.
there we go. Can I play this? No, I'm not going to do it through the viewfinder. Well, there you go. You can play it with fingers if you want to. It's very loud. Right, let's turn that off. This would drive parents up the wall, wouldn't it? Absolutely up the wall. Right, they're very, very soft and springy, but they do feel actually quite durable. But then I'd imagine that they are reasonably durable, and banging them with that, and I'm so glad these don't squeak. I was worried it was going to do that, although the original arcade wouldn't have. Yeah, banging them with that is obviously going to preserve their life. So let's take this downstairs. I'm going to take it to the front hall for reasons I just explained, and I'm going to give it a quick go, and hopefully I can capture it well enough for you to see. Right, it doesn't stick to the floor. Oh, I don't know, it's kinda down there. Hopefully this angle isn't too bad. It's just quite difficult to capture it such a way, because it is actually a reasonably big unit. There's lots of play in these. I didn't mention that upstairs. Thank God the hammers don't squeak. That was something I was kinda worried about. So yeah, let's get into it. Right, can't see what I'm doing. I don't want it to... There we go.
Please choose
Go on to money mode.
speed 1, speed 1.
There we go. Do you know what? Alright, I am aware that I'm beginners though. They're really responsive. He says, I clearly hit it. How much abuse? What's my score? 60. Is that how many I missed? So that's now the score I can't include. I don't know. Yeah. Alright. Was that a bonus round? Sorry, my fault. It's not that you've got to give it a massively hard whack. It's that you have to be directly over it like that. Which is a bit awkward because of that there. Possibly being an adult. Yeah, that's again. I guess this is the bonus mode. Possibly having adult-sized hands doesn't help. It's stuck on the mole then. I'm quite surprised that Peter hasn't lost that shit over this, because remember they went after Mario's suits, animal suits? They're a bunch of inept wankers. Oh. So how do you die? So what is it?
2.
Oh right, so that's speed 1. Okay. That's speed 2. Okay, it's kicking my ass on speed 2. I hit the wrong hole. Okay, this is a lot. a lot cooler than I thought it would be. I don't know why, I was expecting to not really be able to, I don't know, handle the speed, take the massive amount of abuse I'm giving it. Then what do I end up about building such things? I'm very impressed, that's what I am. I am aware, apart from nostalgia aside, I am not the target audience for it. Right. Well, doing my bit to help farmers. Possibly if I read the instructions it would have told me the number of rounds. Is that it?
Please.
It ended. I'm not sure why it did that.
Speed
I'll
1.
go with 3.
Speed 2.
What about speed 3?
Please choose.
Skip to the end. Can.
Please choose.
That's a bit odd, isn't it?
Speed 2.
Right, one more on speed 2. Dying time moles. I like moles though. One of my favourite books as a child was Wind in the Willows. Don't they? I've just worked out the elephant in the room about how accurate this is to the arcade, which I will have to cover upstairs. Dying time. I got it. Right, well there you go. Let's round up. I can tell you already now, I love it. Do you know what? I actually worked up a little bit of a sweat then. To be fair, it is about 25 degrees in this house. Do you know what? This is really, really, really cool. I actually do really, really like it. It's really, really responsive. It did appear that a few times I twatted a mole and clearly hit it within the time limit, and it didn't, count as a kill. And I did mention it briefly. It seems to me that you've got to kind of come like a straight from the top motion. Like a straight from the top motion. If you come at it like a swing, it doesn't always seem to register. I don't know if that's because some of the power dissipates if you hit it like that. I would sincerely doubt it because it's a kid's toy. It's pretty robust. It really is pretty robust. It seems to me, from what I could work out, that it offers you a higher skill selection to pick with money in than it did without money. But maybe, I don't know, that was literally my first go on it. It's quick. I can imagine that when it gets up to skill 7, represented by that mole there, it's probably batshit insane and a real test of your reflexes. The lights are really, really, really bright and do a job really well, especially when you see it, how nicely, well, I don't know, are they painted from the inside? As such, I mean, they do look decent, you know, the faces on it looks like a shrunken arcade machine is what I'm trying to say. However, just worked out why they obviously light up, because it would cost a hell of a lot more than what it costs. And I do know, I wasn't being ungrateful, I did look it up on Amazon out of curiosity and see how many variants there are of these whack-a-mole machines out there, because obviously there are a shit ton in the arcades. But it has to light up, because obviously the mole is not, I should have realised that the minute I looked at it. I should have realised that from looking at the box, to be perfectly honest. By the way, how small are these kids? Look at the size of it. Oh, and they're coming out of the ground. But yeah, I mean, I know it's packaging, but yeah. But you can realise, or should have realised from the front of the box, that yeah, they don't go into the machine, so therefore lighting up is how they tell you the sequence which you have to twat them, because obviously they would come out ordinarily. I get that, it's probably a cost saving thing, isn't it? And also to have a machine where you push them up, you're going to need a whole bunch of motors, which not only raises the price but puts a lot more wear and tear on the machine. So that's a perfectly fine sacrifice. I'd imagine that any one of these mini machines probably does it that way these days. Yeah, there obviously clearly there are two hammers, so clearly there are two player modes, which would be in the instructions, which I didn't read because, to be fair, you know me, I don't read instructions. Also, I don't know what that's for. I can only think it opens that if it's not taped down. But what do I think? I think it's absolutely fantastic. It really, really is. It's a great little machine. Obviously, it's aimed at very young children, but it is. I'm probably going to give it to my niece, to be fair. It is clearly beneficial from the fact that I was struggling. All right, granted, I'm an old man with hands possibly, as I said, too big for the machine itself, but I can only imagine, which I might do another gameplay of later on, when I've got some skill going on there and a few more goes, that on skill level 7, that mole there, that it probably goes batshit insane. Would I recommend it? I would recommend it, because I've looked on Amazon and you can pick these up for about £20, which I think's absolute bargain for what it is. Nice sound, you know, very clear, loud voices, very bright lights. Clearly, you know, you're not going to struggle to see the sequence that you hit it. Pretty well made and robust. Again, this is obviously helping, but I honestly think, especially if you like Whack-A-Mole, and like I said, I only ever got to play it when I was a very young lad. Do you know what? Yeah, it's cool. It's really, really cool. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's a mini version of Whack-A-Mole, and I mean, I don't know what I was expecting. I just wasn't expecting it to be as good as this. So I thoroughly, thoroughly recommend it. If anyone knows anything about Whack-A-Mole, sort of the history and stuff like that, the variants, is it trademarked or something? Is it not? Because I can't see... I don't know. I honestly don't think this is a licensed version, and seeing how many different variants there were on Amazon, yeah, unless they all paid for the trademark, or is it so old it falls out of... I don't know. So if anyone knows anything about Whack-A-Mole and the variants, when you played it, do you still play it? Do you have any of these little machines? Have these little machines been knocking around since I was a kid? I'd love to know. And yeah, I recommend this. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.